Hi, welcome to my eclectic channel. My name is Agnes and I make videos for fun. We've been working on turning an old pair of jeans into a midi-length jean skirt.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon.
So now we get to the part that I have been dreading beyond reason. And that is the waistband. I'm dreading it simply because, I don't know, in my mind it's really thick. It's a lot of layers of fabric and there's a lot going on and I'm just internally panicking. But there's no need. We just need to take this one by one. So the idea is here we have the seam on the jeans themselves. And then there's the waistband. And we have to continue that seam onto the waistband so that everything has the same length and matches together. So yeah, it is like this. So I'm going to go ahead and mark continuing that line. So I'm going to take this to my machine and stitch those together along the entire width. I've unfolded my the two pieces of the waistband and I'm going to stitch clear across the entire width. The next step is to attach that part of the waistband to the top of the skirt or jeans. And before I do that, it's a good time to press my seams open, both on the jeans and the waistband. So the back of the skirt is stitched. There were a few trial and errors. I think this could benefit from a bit of pressing. But I'm happy with the fit around the hips, and the pockets are finally lined up correctly. So that's good. Now in terms of finishing the seam, I've just pressed mine flat, or like I said, I probably should press again. But I've seen tutorials where they mimicked the way seams are normally done on jeans. It's not like that on the side of the skirt, by the way, but elsewhere you have seams that do have top stitching. So those tend to be they're thicker, more hardy seams. I think they're called felled something seams. So you can mimic that cheat by doing a row of top stitching on either side of the seam. I am going to skip that process because I like this is almost an invisible seam, and I like that. The pockets are a little close together and I don't want to draw attention to that, so I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave the back as it is. So now we need to finish the waistband. So I've stitched the visible side of the waistband to match the size of the top of the skirt. So now that my waistband is stitched to match the top of the skirt, I need to reattach it. Right now I have a gap here, so it needs to be reattached. So before I reattach it, I need to remember that I have belt loops. They go in at this point. So I'm going to put originally we had 2 belt loops on either side of the center back seam, so I'll put them back like so, and then matching what I already have, I need to pull them down a little bit so that their top matches the top of their jeans. So they'll go kind of like down like that. So my work is to pin them. I think I might be able to pin them in place. Yep, they're long enough. So I will pin them in place, and then I will do the seam here. And I have three layers. I have the top of the jeans, the belt loop, and then I have the waistband. And in stitching, I need to be careful to not have too big of a seam allowance. This was the original seam allowance. I want to stitch with a seam allowance smaller than that. The belt loops need to be exactly placed, and I don't see a way that things are not going to shift. I can't quite put a pin there. It's just going to interfere with my machine needle. I'm going to hand stitch the belt loops in place. It doesn't have to be super strong because I'm going to be stitching on top of that with the machine. Alright, so it's not perfect. My loops are, one of them is off by 1 millimeter. I'll have to live with that. So now we need to reassemble the rest of the waistband. And before I finish the waistband, at this point it's easier to attach the top of the belt loops. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them here and here and top stitch, and I hope my machine can handle it. So now it is time to switch the thread to puke yellow. That is a top stitching thread. I just went to my supermarket and this was the only top stitching thread they had, and I think it was labeled as jean top stitching, and it matches. I did bring a piece of the jean with me. Yeah, I don't know who decided that puke yellow was the universal color for top stitching of jeans. Here, it's just so thick that I'm just hand turning the wheel. Next time, we continue with reassembling the waistband. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like.